Good morning, Wadsworth. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Janie, and good morning, Wadsworth.
Hi, here we are at a brand new location for McNeill's Cabinetry and Floors, their third location, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks move-in ready.
It So we're at the north end, right next to Anytime Fitness, and so who's filming today, is going to show you some of the store. So Drew, if you can pan around and just show some of the store. Look at all those gorgeous things, Michael.
Yeah, cabinetry, flooring, countertops. You
Lights.
literally could do your entire house with
Oh
everything
my
they have here.
gosh.
The beautiful lights up front.
Yeah.
Pat told us we're seed glass, large pendants.
And the funny thing is that I don't know any of this. Our house is so outdated.
Sounds like a prime customer that
I
Pat might want to
know.
talk to.
I think so too. Pat's been just a great Wadsworth community person, and of course he has that great son, Joe McNeill.
Yeah, we like him.
We like him a lot. Who's our auctioneer for the Easter basket coming up?
Coming up next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. He'll be auctioning off 60 minutes in 60 minutes.
As long as
Or
Jane-
60 baskets.
Yes, as long as you don't slow him down.
It's my job. It's my job to slow him down. Look, there's windows, there's doors. Oh my gosh, and everything I don't have in my house that's updated, it's in
I
here.
think Pat said you can choose one thing and take it home.
Okay, good. All right, I'll choose Pat because he's so fun. Okay, well, you know what? Let's go talk to Pat.
Sure.
Okay, so now here we are in the design room and with the owner, Pat McNeill. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning.
And
Morning,
you know
Pat.
what? I know that he's a St. Patrick's Day boy,
Oh, yeah.
without a doubt.
We're still partying, you know,
Yeah.
with a name like McNeil.
You have
It
to.
goes through April.
Yeah, that's right.
One time I said to Joe, do you drink green beer? And you know what he said? Amateurs. Well, before we get started here talking about what's in the store, we got to tell you what we have seen in this store. And
Okay, great.
amazing, up to date. I mean, it is just incredible what you've done here.
Thank you, thank you.
This is your third location.
This is our third location in 6 years. Yeah, we were 3 years next to Bixler's, which worked out fantastic because our showroom was open to his. And,
Sure.
you know, with the appliances and everything, it worked out great. But it just got to be way too small. So we moved around the corner there in front of Knapp's Firestone. That worked out fantastic for us for 3 years. And before we signed a new lease, we just thought we better look around for something a little bit bigger because we needed another sales associate and we needed more product, you know, to show, to
Yes.
make everything complete.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's the reason we moved up here, and it's been a great move so far. Great move.
Holy smokes. Well, you must be doing something right for your business to have grown this much in 6 years.
Yeah, I pray a lot.
You pray a lot. Of course you do.
But yeah, we're truly blessed. It has gone very well, and you know, a good portion of it is my two sons are partners with me now, Ryan and Eric McNeill, and we've always told them, you know, we worked very hard to get the job, but the next job comes from the job that they do in the field. And so it's,
That's
you know,
true.
it has come full circle. We've been doing every year for the last 10 years. It's just our volume has increased, just crazy.
It's great to hear about a Wadsworth business, and you're right, seeing over this being your third move, I remember each of those locations and
Yeah.
seeing the evolution of the store from not just a size standpoint, but from a design element standpoint. You have a little bit of mix of everything in here to really give your customers ideas on what they can do.
Right, right.
So tell us exactly what you sell, which parts. Say, for example, I'm building a home or I'm remodeling a home. What should I do?
We basically do everything except maybe exterior. We
Okay.
have done some exteriors, but we don't really get into that too much. It's really hard to reschedule 8 guys if it starts raining. But you know, the outside sign is McNeill's Cabinetry and Floors. So that is a big portion of what we do. But we also have gotten into a huge amount of window and door replacements. You know, in the
Wow.
90s, people built on all 4 sides of the city, north, south, east, and west. And, you know, a lot of that stuff's starting to come apart. And so we've been doing a lot of window and door replacements. So we put in a big display of window and door replacements. We're not like the high pressure sales like a lot of the other big companies are that come to your door and you can't really get them to leave. But so we do an awful lot of that too. We do design build additions. We do custom commercial build outs, and that's another division. And the way it kind of works is Ryan kind of heads a little towards the commercial part of the build outs and everything, and Eric does the residential, but they can both do both, you know, they just found their niche doing that. So, but yeah, just about anything that anybody needs done as far as home remodeling or even commercial. We don't normally bring in commercial building out of the ground, but we do a lot of commercial build outs and stuff for a lot of landlords and clients and stuff like that.
So you have cabinets, you have countertops, you have floors,
Right.
you have doors, you have windows. Did I miss anything? Oh, you know what? The backsplashes I saw out there.
Yeah, the tile backsplashes, anything to make it complete. And you know, this is our design room, what we call our presentation room, and we did have one down at in downtown too, but we had a solid door on it. And when we were in there, if a customer came in, number one, we couldn't see them, and number two, they didn't know what we were doing in there. So that's why we laid this out with all glass front and everything, so that if you know when we're presenting to a customer. We shoot it on this screen up above my head here, and from back there, and then they can fully see their whole kitchen, everything in full 3D.
Okay.
And that way they know exactly what they're getting. If they want me to turn it this way or turn it that way, they can see everything. And then it's good because if we have customers out on the showroom floor, they can kind of see how it is we do things.
Yeah, understand the process.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned additions as well.
Right. Yeah, we do home additions, and we do a lot of that design build where we have our own CAD and everything. We're not a licensed architectural firm, so we can't do any commercial when it comes to that. But residential, we can submit our own drawings and do the design build additions. So.
But not carpeting.
I do carpeting, commercial carpeting, carpet modules. Let me say that. I do carpet modules. I don't do 12-foot wide goods.
Okay.
I don't know what modules are.
They're squares, carpet squares.
Oh, okay.
So it's very popular in commercial application, which is what I have out there. And it's good. Now I'm just picking up a residential line that is a plush module. But the 12-foot goods, I've learned years ago, it's like going to work every day and getting beat up. You know,
Okay.
it's just.
That's what I was going to ask. Why don't
It's
you?
harder to get installers.
Okay.
You know, they can install it and everything. My sons won't install it.
Oh.
They're very good at what they do, but they don't want to install, you know, broadloom carpet. And to be honest with you, one of the major reasons is it's amazing how many people are getting away from carpet on the interior of their house. Many of them are coming in for hard surface flooring because of, you know, the antimicrobials and things like that.
Sure.
So, you know,
Yeah.
people really getting more conscious about that stuff.
Do you ever partner with anybody that does do carpet like that?
I
as far as
do.
a recommended installer, if someone you're doing a design build and that calls for some of that?
Yes, I do. I have a very good friend of mine, and he owns Ultimate Flooring out on 619 in Cottage Grove Road in Portage Lakes.
Okay.
And he has broadloom carpet there, and he has a lot of in stock and everything. So a lot of times, his name is Kurt Wilgus, and we've known each other for 30 years. And he actually does a lot of the same flooring that I do too.
Okay.
But I send customers there if they want broadloom carpet, and he does a great job to, you know, fill that need.
Sure.
I had ripped out a magazine picture years ago, well, probably 4 years ago, not years, and of a bedroom that I would like to do, and it doesn't have carpet. It has, you know,
Like the hardwood or LVT.
yes, and with rugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I showed it to my husband, he said, "I don't think so. Carpet belongs in the bedroom." And it's like, no, I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved that look.
Yeah, these LVT floors too are just selling like hotcakes. It's really good stuff, and we'll actually put an LVT floor in a bathroom and put a heated floor underneath it. So
Wow.
Oh, boy.
And LVT stands for?
luxury vinyl tile.
Okay.
Okay, we got that one. Okay, so let's just start with kitchen cabinets. What's popular right now?
You know, it's funny, with cabinets, 51% of all national sales is a white flat panel shaker door. And and then the next in line is, and that's like 51%. So the next in line is cherry then, cherry stained at 26%.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I mean, we have hundreds of door selections, but it really is the white shaker flat panel door that we're selling most of.
Yeah, that's 3/4 of the market right there.
It really is. It really is. I mean, it's just some of my cabinet companies says I don't even really know why we have, any other types of doors. But then every now and then you get somebody in that really wants to step out of the box. Our webpage actually has this job we did in Lake Chautauqua in New York, and it was about $2 million summer home, and she picked out a rustic hickory painted white and then glazed, and then for the island she did a rustic hickory painted gray and then glazed. And I'm telling you, it looks like $1 million. It looks fantastic.
Well, it is
So-
$1 million. Come on.
It should look like it.
Yeah, it should match up.
Now, a lot of the 90s homes that we were talking about that are at that point of being needing remodeling, the oak cabinetry was the dominant
That was it,
one then. Do you find yourself replacing, refinishing both on a lot of that type of work?
No, we recommend they don't refinish it, not because we don't do painting, which, as you know probably. I started out in this business as a painting contractor, so I do know that when you paint over top of a clear finish, it's going to eventually chip. Like very soon, it's going to chip. It just you don't get a good bond. So your kitchen takes a lot of abuse. So it is going to chip. In a situation like that, if someone doesn't want to change out their countertops or their floor, we have a reface program where we come in, we take all the doors off, we reface all the frames, and give them all new doors, and put those on and stuff. And people love it. We've done that. The only downside of that is they still keep their existing drawer boxes. And now, we have the slow close, slow motion drawer boxes and everything. So it's, but to be honest with you, if they're changing out their countertops and they're changing out their flooring, it's almost just about as economical to just switch out the cabinets too.
Okay, I was going to ask you from a cost standpoint, does refacing save them much?
It does, but most of your cost in a cabinet is the face frame and the door. And that's what we're replacing. So other than that, it's just the boxes. Now, as far as the labor goes, it takes a lot of time to reface all those and then put the new hinges on and put the new doors on. So in that amount of time, I could almost replace the whole cabinet. So it really is minimal costs on the cabinet itself if they want to go ahead and do that. Then they have all new boxes and everything. Plus, what everybody's doing too since the 90s is taking out the soffits and taking the ceiling, the cabinets clear to the ceiling. So when they start seeing that, they like a new plan.
Yeah. Now, what about countertops? What's going on with countertops?
Countertops, we're doing a tremendous amount of quartz. And we're actually one of the top retailers of Cambria quartz from our manufacturers, which is Quartzco. And so we sell a tremendous amount of quartz countertops. And granite too, but mostly quartz and solid surface.
And what's so exciting about quartz?
The new quartz, when it first came out, it was less money than granite. And it's because it was a lot of peppery look, kind of like, just dots and things like that. No movement. And then all of a sudden, they started losing some sales to granite because granite has so much movement. So quartz came out and figured out a way to put movement in all of their slabs, which is like a veining, and that type of movement. And it's very, very consistent. The 12 by 12 sample that you see is exactly what your tops are going to look like. Where with granite, what you might see on a little square, when you get your tops, you might have a great big brown streak running through in another area and stuff. Now, a lot of people really like that too, so there's nothing wrong with that either. It all depends. So what we do is we always, if they're going to buy the granite from a little sample piece or whatever, we send them to our fabricator to pick out their slabs so that they can see that variation and make sure.
From a cost standpoint, now they're pretty similar? Or?
Now quartz is more expensive than granite. However, the good part about it is most of the quartz is the exact same price, where granite steps up in price depending on how much you really like it, because really that's what it comes into. The more expensive ones have some beautiful, beautiful movement in them.
Any colors that's exceptionally
Yeah.
popular?
No, they're still, well, grays. I mean, grays are really, and
Sure.
and all the clinics that we've been in and everything, they all say that grays are here to stay for a while. So,
I like
and I look for it to be, because earth tones had the market for so long. And it's funny, when I got into business, they had, you would put, you'd either decorate your home with cool colors or you'll decorate your home with warm colors. Never really intermix them. Now we're intermixing them, and they're actually intermixed in the actual sample, you know. So, and I'm glad they did that, because that really does make a big difference. So, between whites and grays, I mean, we're doing a tremendous amount.
My daughter just built a home and everything's white and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and it's so cool that things change like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, over
We love
the
it.
years. Yeah, I would think that you do. And you know, and I was thinking with carpet, as we were talking about, like for the bedroom, when we bought our home, we had new carpet put in the bedroom, and it 6 months, and it you can tell patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, with the flooring, whatever that is, the ABC
The
flooring, what
LVT,
is it?
LVT,
You know that's not going to happen the same way.
Right. No, most of it, your residential has anywhere from 12 to 20 mils of clear vinyl on top of the pattern. So it just is very, very durable. I had one customer one time that wanted to take like 3 samples home. So she did, and they had the color number on each corner of each sample. And so she had them sitting down next to the baseboard to see which one she really liked. Well, she came down to one day, and her dog was working to try to get that tag off the floor. And she like freaked out, and she thought, you know what, the heck with this, I'll buy him a new tag. So she let him get it off and everything, and we looked and everything, and just no scratches. I mean, it's really durable.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very durable floor.
So what about backsplashes? What's new in backsplashes?
Well, see, that's changed a lot too over time here. It used to be when people would put in, first of all, they just put in the 4x4 backsplash, you know.
Right.
Then they started going to the subway tile, which is still very, very
I like
popular.
that. Yeah.
And then they were doing the subway tile or something like that with a feature strip of glass tile or whatever in the middle. Still doing a little bit of that. But now they're doing a lot of what I have on my front display there, where they're going with something pretty wild, and they just do it all the way. And that seems to be real popular now. And also installing it vertically instead of horizontally.
Oh,
So,
really?
you know, things just
okay.
move back and forth like that, and it's crazy.
Sure.
But,
Yeah. And, you know, in the 40s and 50s when they had the tiny little tiles.
Oh, yeah.
Or before that, I love that look.
Yeah.
And it's coming back.
that's coming back. I've got a whole rack of them right there, you know, and they just, it's very popular.
Yeah.
So nothing's out of the ordinary anymore. I love it when people come in and they want to step out of the box a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Has anybody, I know like with my daughter, she has 2 different color cabinets that we talked about. But has anybody gone more than 2 colors that you've worked with?
Not too many. My rule of thumb has always been, you know, don't try to decorate with more than 3 colors in one open area or whatever, because that you tend to lose the beauty of the design, you know. So we don't do that very often at all, unless it's some sort of a special deal, like a nursery or something like that, you know, where they want to get those loud colors and stuff and do more than that. But
I've noticed kitchens that have sort of the white cabinetry, and then the island is an offset color, like a gray
that
or
we are
black
doing,
or
yes.
something like that.
Yeah. But and 2 colors is fine, but not too often do we ever do 3.
You don't want to look like a circus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our front display, our main display is red birch and then white cabinetry, and we are doing a lot of that. And then they're also switching up that quartz. We have a new Cambria quartz now called Britannica, and it's got a lot of just single movement veins in it. Those work really great on an island where you don't have to turn a corner. But if you have your countertops and they come down, they turn a corner, it's really hard to match up that corner.
Okay.
But those are things that we tell everybody, you know, just so you know. And we've done it, and people love it and stuff, but we let them know.
Okay. Well, Drew just gave us a signal. We have 5 minutes, so I got to
that's how you
talk
work.
about you now, too. Now, he has a whole baseball team of children.
He does.
Yeah.
We
He
do.
planned that well.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike knows.
Yeah.
A lot of them have gone to school with his kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us about your family.
Well, we have, my wife Judy and I have 5 children. They all live within a quarter of a mile from us, except for the very last one. We built her a house down in town in Wadsworth, and so they're all up there, and with those 5 kids we have 11 grandkids. And so they're all close. They, you know, now the older ones are riding their bikes over to Poppy's house and playing basketball up on my driveway. And
It's like the
it's
McNeil
just-
compound, huh?
That's what they call it. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, we bought some commercial property, and so we were going to set it up in a different company and everything. And we were looking for a name, and my one son, Eric, who was my partner, he says, "Why don't we call it Compound Investments?" And I said, "Well, there you go. Let's just do
Yeah.
that, you know."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because it's even up on the compound. So, but yeah, it's fun to be able to have them all together and everything.
Oh,
It's just so blessed. We all go to the same church, and it's just.
I've seen you there for many years.
Yeah.
Boy,
You
that
have.
is a true blessing.
It
a
really,
true
it
blessing.
really is. Sometimes I have to pinch myself.
Oh, that's so nice. But I do know that you and Judy struggled to try to work together. Yeah.
We tried that. It was great.
It wasn't so great.
What was great was the fact that we tried it for about 6 months, and
Okay.
then we went to dinner one night. She had a couple glasses of wine, I had a couple glasses of wine, and we both were able to come out and say it's kind of best that we don't work together. And she wanted to tell me, and I wanted to tell her, but we were afraid to do it.
Yeah,
So
sure.
everything has been fantastic since then.
That's right.
It's but some people. I just had a customer that I just went to measure her house and everything, and her husband works for her as an office manager. They've done it for 12 years, and they get along fantastic. So,
Oh,
and
great.
Paul and Annie Bixler, I mean, they work together
Yeah.
all the time.
That's
so
true.
It
Yeah.
was just. It wasn't for us. Well, we
There
were
you
talking
go.
about it all the time. It's
Sure.
a big thing. We all get together for a family dinner, and that's what we're doing.
It's all
is
about
talking
the business.
Yep.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also wanted to invite you to McNeill's Cabinetry and Floors open house coming up this Thursday, so that will be the 28th of March. 5 to 6 is the open house, and at 5:30 is the ribbon cutting. So please join us. Well, you know what? We have to go, Pat, because
Okay.
we ran out of time, but we've learned so much today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you are a great, great community supporter of Wadsworth,
Well,
and we
thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wadsworth's been great to us.
well,
Great to us.
Yeah, Wadsworth's glad to have you.
yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
So if anybody would like to do a remodel or building a new home, just call and set up an appointment with
Set up an
you.
appointment. We have free design work. We'll come out to your
Okay.
home. We'll measure everything. We'll draw up the drawings at no cost or anything, and
Okay.
then present to them. And if they can either do it or they don't have to do it, whichever.
Okay.
But
All
we're
right.
very, very price very competitive.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Okay, Wadsworth, well, thanks for coming and joining us this morning, and thanks for all you do for Wadsworth.
Well, thank you, you guys.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Sure.
Appreciate you having us, and have a great week, Wadsworth.